Hello everyone, welcome to the Storyist. It's an old saying that a person should never judge another person unless they are in their shoes. We'll never really know what someone is going through, how hard or how easy each situation is for them, because each one of us is going through a different journey, a different timeline, a different starting point, and a different end goal. The best thing we can do is at least try to be kind to anyone and everyone, because we might never know what the man standing next to us in line at the grocery store might be going through. The old lady by the yogurt section can be quite annoying as she constantly talks to you about her life. But you don't know that her husband has just died, and she's just distracting herself from the pain by talking to you. You might feel uncomfortable about your cab driver who talks unnecessarily incomprehensibly, and might think that he's under the influence of drugs. But you don't know that he is fighting a stroke attack. You don't know anything about anyone, so the least that you can do is to be nice to everyone. Today, I will be telling you a story about an angry woman who learns this very important lesson when she berates a barista in front of his customers. Stay until the end of the video to see how she learns about compassion for others. Karen is a very short-tempered woman. She's already in her 50s, and she is taking her age as an advantage to everything, every single time. She goes to stores and asks for discounts or free stuff, just because the price tags are not properly labeled. She goes to a chain of restaurants and manages to eat for free by sending back food after they are half consumed, with the reason that the food is not made fresh, or that it does not taste as the menu descriptions say. She often drives away people inside cars parked in her own parking spot, even in public parking spaces, because in her view, once she had parked at it the first time, it will forever remain as her spot. Basically, she thinks she rules the world. And what Karen wants, Karen gets. But she is about to learn her lesson. One morning, Karen is rushing to a monthly get-together with her friends from college. They have been her best friends since she can remember. And since the day that they have left college, they vowed to always have a monthly get-together, or a routine checkup, as they call it, where they will all sit together inside a cafe or restaurant and talk about their lives. Before going to it, she thinks of passing by a coffee shop to get her morning boost of brewed coffee, with shots of hazelnut and other things she likes to add. She enters a coffee shop that sits along the way to the restaurant she and her friends are going to meet in. As she goes to the line, she sees 3 more people before her. At that very instant, she rolls her eyes. God, I wonder what the barista at the end of this line is doing. Browsing through Facebook? Karen says, a little too loudly for the other customers to hear. Unfortunately, the barista at the other end also hears it. Turns out, she's also the one manning the cashier at the moment, so she works a little slower than usual. But she doesn't explain herself. She just continues working and serving her customers. But during those long and agonizing minutes, Karen always has something to say. If I had just mixed my own coffee at home, I would have drunk 10 of it already, Karen says again, quite loudly for the barista to hear. But the barista still keeps quiet. The customer in front of her, which is the customer the barista is currently serving, hears her snide remark and turns around to face her. She is 2 inches taller than Karen, perhaps a decade younger as well, and dressed in a corporate suit that suggests her high position in a prestigious company. Then why didn't you just mix your own coffee at home rather than keep complaining here? The woman confronts Karen. Surprised that someone has crossed her, she yells at the woman for being so disrespectful with the elders. She also throws remarks about her clothes, saying that she is a social climber who only orders a cup of coffee to flaunt her branded cup. The woman then faces her directly, puts out her golden purse from her bag, and shows her an identification card. It reads, Gemma Chang, CEO of Chang Industries, LLC. Reading this, Karen just shuts up. I'm the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, miss. I don't think I'm just some social climber flaunting the brand of my coffee. And by the way, this dress is Gucci. The woman elegantly says, grabs her cup of coffee and walks away, leaving Karen next in line. She is stunned for a moment, but she doesn't show it. She just brushes away what has just happened, pretends like it never happened, and talks to the barista in a harsh manner. Give me a medium brewed coffee with 3 shots of hazelnut, a tablespoon of creamer, and 3 sugars, she says to the barista with her chin high up in the air. The barista punches her order and starts doing her thing. Make sure it's a tablespoon of creamer and 3 sugars. Don't dare mess it up after all the time you made me wait, she adds. The barista looks at her and just nods with a smile. It's obvious that she is trying to put up a happy face, but instead of making Karen feel pity over the barista, she just feels more empowered to insult her. The barista finishes her coffee and she hands it to Karen. Oh God, finally, after ages, Karen exclaims. The barista just smiles at her and apologizes for the delay. Forgive me, ma'am, we're understaffed today. My colleague is sick and I have to… Before she can even finish her sentence, Karen immediately cuts her sentence out. Just shut up. Making excuses for bad service is not cool. she says angrily. The next in line tells his order to the barista, subtly pleading for the barista to stop focusing on Karen to avoid any trouble. The barista answers the customer's plea and she takes his order. Yet Karen is still there at the side, not leaving. She opens the cup of coffee served to her and takes a sip on it. "Oh God!" she exclaims. Yet again, she catches almost everyone's attention. The barista is alerted as Karen yells. "Ma'am, what is it? Is it too hot?" the barista asks. Karen shots her a sharp look. "What do you think of me? Stupid? Of course it's hot!" she yells again. The barista, obviously concerned, asks what's wrong with her coffee. "I told you 3 sugars, not no sugar!" Karen yells at her once again. The barista reassures Karen that she has put the right amount of sugar onto her cup. "Well, what are you saying then? That I'm a liar?" Karen shouts again. The barista is hearing a lot of high-pitched, insulting remarks, but she is trying to hold everything together. The other customers who are witnessing Karen's repulsive acts are also starting to join the conversation, defending the poor barista. "Hey, don't be so tough on her, ma'am. It's obvious that she's struggling to do everything on her own," one of the customers in the line said. But Karen harshly gets back at him. "Well, is it my problem that they are undermanned now? If anyone here has a problem, it's that slow barista," Karen exclaims again. This time, the barista breaks down into tears. The customers are all so sweet, telling her not to let Karen get to her head. But the barista starts weeping, and Karen just rolls her eyes. But then, the barista starts talking. "I'm sorry, okay? I'm too distracted to work, but I can't take the day off because my friend has been sick for 2 days already. She still can't come in. And my dad just died yesterday, so I can't keep everything together. I thought that I could, but I really can't," the barista says in between sobs. The customers offer her sympathy, while Karen stands there, dumbfounded. She can't believe that someone who looks okay, someone who gives her smiles during her shift despite her snide remarks, is actually suffering through painful circumstances. Karen walks slowly towards the barista, and afraid that she might say another mean word, the customers try to stop her. "What are you still doing here? Get out!" one customer says. But Karen assures them that she'll just apologize. Karen says sorry to the barista for treating her badly. She tells her that she has finally learned her lesson, and she will never be rude to anyone else again. "To make it up to you, why don't I buy you a refresher?" Karen says, and she treats the barista to a tasty fruit shake. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.